They are calling it housing court hell. Delays and backups in New York City are turning into nightmares for some families who say they are on the brink of bankruptcy.
In fact, what they thought would take just a few months to get a resolution in housing court has turned into years. The cause? The courts are still dealing with a backlog of cases from the COVID pandemic.
7 on your side, investigative reporter Dan Kraut is here now with more on the effect it is having on those families and what's being done about it. Dan?
Bill and Sandra, it can take a while to go through housing court, and for good reason. It's a chance to get a good attorney and to fairly fight your case. But some homeowners say they're in fear of losing their own homes because of a lack of court workers and constant court delays.
The system's supposed to be fair, but it's not fair.
You can see the frustration in Sandra Claxton's eyes. She worked as a nurse for decades to buy her retirement home in the Bronx, a home she's now afraid of losing.
I didn't expect this.
Her home has a second-floor apartment she's been leasing out to help cover costs.
The last receipt from 2 years ago.
But says her tenant hasn't paid in more than 2 years. She took her to housing court and won, but the tenant is still living above her.
The warrant has not been signed by the judge, so they cannot do anything about it.
She had to wait for more than a year after winning her case for a judge to sign off on the eviction warrant. She's now waiting for a marshal to execute it.
After I finish paying the mortgage, I hardly have anything left.
Meanwhile, she's responsible for paying all the bills and utilities, or the tenant could take her to court.
She's the one who not paying, but yet still she get a free pass.
How many other Sandras are there out there?
I was hundreds.
Henry Ocasio works as a housing advocate for a nonprofit in the Bronx.
It's mind-boggling why is it taking so long?
It's a problem across the city. We found the average eviction takes 2 years, and landlords say a warrant takes an average of at least 6 months to be executed.
2 years out of the pandemic, and we're still seeing this very, very slow process.
The delays have been so bad in Queens, a group of property owners got together and sued the Queens court administrator to try to speed up the process. Craig Gambardella represents the landlords.
This is pretty rare action, right?
This is incredibly rare action.
In a response to the lawsuits, the court administrator said they've been dealing with a monumental task of clearing out an almost 2-year backlog from the pandemic and have had a shortage of housing court judges, court attorneys, and other staffing shortages.
The fact that upon filing this lawsuit, things started moving in the right direction with respect to staffing in Queens County.
It doesn't solve the citywide problem, though.
It's unacceptable.
Senator Holman, the chair of the State Senate Judiciary Committee, says constant complaints have led to 5 new housing court judges being added over the last month. But the courts are still struggling to find qualified people to replace those who resigned or retired during the pandemic.
Justice delayed is justice denied, and that's exactly what we're seeing in New York City Family Court.
For small homeowners like Claxton, the changes couldn't happen soon enough.
I think the justice system needs to be adjusted. I hope there's a resolution soon so I can live in peace. And I don't even know if I want to rent out my place again.
We'll let you know when her case is resolved. I requested sit-down interviews with both the supervising and administrative court judges. Instead, they sent a statement saying they're working to address the delays by adding more staff.